Good evening. Ira Epstein with your financial market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for the evening of Wednesday, the 26th of April, 2023, getting on to 6:55 p.m. Central Time. I was just watching the national weather, and we are getting snowpack melting. Now, it's causing problems, Iowa, Wisconsin, big corn areas that you're hitting, some soybean areas. Pay attention to it. How bad is it going to get? What fields are getting washed out? How much acreage you're going to lose early on? How much of a flood are we talking? In some areas, we're talking decade floods. So you've got to start paying attention. And I realize grains keep breaking. These things don't get a lot of attention by people. Start paying attention. That's what I'm here to tell you. And no, I'm not saying go out and buy them. I'm saying on the downside, I wonder if the short side doesn't have some limitation because of it. I'm sure we'll talk about that at the Linn Associates newsletters that'll come out starting tonight and tomorrow. And we write all through the evening and in the mornings and the afternoons. And yeah, we have meteorologists, by the way, 2 of them on staff. So we're a pretty good-sized grain firm. All right. What do we do now with FRC, the First Republic? Okay, I'm of the opinion that the Fed just has to stop lending it money at the discount window, shut it down, sell the assets, and call it a day. Other people will say, no, there's value. If there is, why haven't private money stepped up and bought it? We'll talk about that. I look at Charles Schwab. I'll talk about that a little bit when I get to my Spider ETF tonight, because there's people looking for something there, and I'll go into my thoughts. All right. Speaker McCarthy, House Speaker, won today. So now it's a hot ball for President Biden. Remember, we go through this every time we go to a debt ceiling. They don't know how to make a long-term plan in Congress. They make us go through this gyration so that they being our House of Representatives and the senators, all get their press time. They all get their constituents saying, look, what a great job and how he's fighting for us, okay? So get ready for it. This is no different than every year you get this. It's like, how do I put it? It's my private press time. This is how I'm going to get reelected, and I'll make the American public wait until the very end. Am I nervous about it? Not even remotely. It gets resolved. They always tell you they're not going to resolve it. They even can go a day or so where you don't get a social or mail or a social security, but they resolve it at the end. It's too big to fail, and that's how it works. So build it in, but understand the game. When I look at the S&P, it certainly got hit today, and part of it was looking at the marketplace, First Republic. After the market, the reason that you're bounced a little bit is because Meta came out with spectacular earnings. Stocks up like 12% in the aftermarket hours. But you're still down. You could easily go back to 40-40 here. Why not? That's the 18-week moving average of closes. On the daily chart, if you look at this, you have a higher high, lower low. You are not in a trend. You're in a vertical price break. What makes it a vertical break? Each day, the market's making a lower low without taking out a previous day's high and with no pause of an inside day. That's what I define that as. Where do I think it stops? Right here. The 40-46, the 100-day average, possibly the 200-day average at 40-21 in the Bollinger Band. You're right there already. So it's in between these numbers that I'm looking for that. Am I a bottom picker? Of course not. I try to be a trend trader. Is there a trend to trade there? There is not. And you're oversold. Let somebody else have that. In the NASDAQ, you are caught in narrow Bollinger Bands and oversold. In a downtrend, 2 days ago, you hit the band. Time to be out. And now the market goes sideways is what I think. And in the Dow, today was the day where I think professional money, if they've been trying to catch the short side, are covering. Now, we can also say, hey, Ira, what happened back here? The market did do what it normally does. It fell on this day, challenged the 18-day average, held that challenge. Then it came down the next day. If it gives ground, and that's the big if it gives ground, what happens is you look for the lower moving average. There are none on this chart. They're way down here, or the Bollinger Band, the closest of it. That's your next support. If that all gave ground, then it's the 32,967. But normally the Bollinger Band will act as that pause number. Why? Because 95% of the time the market will trade within the bands, and therefore they're a natural stopping spot for rallies, especially if you're timing it with a moving average. Can you get over it? Yes. But it's where it initially goes. It's where it initially goes. It's where it initially goes here, and looking for that support. So you pay attention to that. Then we get to the NASDAQ. Well, it hit 2 days ago now. Remember, we're into Thursday trades. So that's why I say 2 days ago. You hit the Bollinger Band in a narrow band, you're stopping. What I think is going on is the smart money, whatever smart means in quotes, is out of the market waiting on the FOMC or whatever events are going to happen. Is there an edge in selling into a Bollinger Band? I want to go on record. None. In the Dow, down to the Bollinger Band. Bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Nothing to do there, and oversold. The Russell got down yesterday to that number. Yeah, you're getting a little follow through. So what? You're oversold. You trying to play that as your breakout? I wish you the best. Okay, it might be. There's certainly no reason to be long any of these. And the only one that had a bearish trend coming in was the Russell, and it's hit its downside target according to my work. Then, if you'll recall, I said, I don't buy into this. And I said this yesterday, that you're going to keep going up in the bonds and the notes. I'm not of the school. To go up means you're betting that the market is not going to see an interest rate hike. I have seen nothing, I want to make that clear, to take the Fed off course, including First Republic. As long as it's contained to First Republic, why would the Fed change the national policy? If the contagion were to spread out of there and all of a sudden hit other banks, remember, this stuff can go like wildfire if they don't contain it. I said if they don't contain it, they're doing a good job of containing it. Then I change my mind. I'm not seeing that at this point. Same in the 5-year note. Now, where are you stuck at? The 18-day average of closes, the line in the sand. What do you think I would think on the first hit of the Bollinger Band on dollar index? Bye-bye, Miss American Pie for the shorts. Out you go. Take your money, take another look. I am a long-term bear in the dollar now. You know that. I've gone on record saying it over and over. I haven't changed my opinion, and I'm very bullish on the euro. But this is also bye-bye. You hit the Bollinger Band. Enough. Got a big report coming at you. What are you doing with that? And you're overbought. British pound. This is a market that I told my traders I had gotten in and I didn't like it. There were 2 trades I put out this week in currencies that I didn't like. And knock on wood, I was able to come out of them fine, was the yen and the pound. And I walked away from each one of those. Today was a good day if you're a feeder, of all things, feeder cattle. The chart setup just looked right. And as it turns out, I got lucky. Okay, that's it. I don't trade feeder cattle. I don't remember the last time I put out feeder cattle recommendations, but the setup was there for me. Could have easily lost. It's equal as and by the way, it's not cashed in. Tomorrow it could open and lose everything. You don't know. Higher high, lower low, looking at the market here. And that's a recommendation that my subscribers, my full research, and I'm going to talk to you about that right at the end of this, get. And I'm going to give you 2 weeks to it so you can see what that is and you can track things and how I come up with them. And then you see the charts, the plays, so you can get all that. Look at how you keep cracking in on these spreads of the Brent crude. Okay, so you're down to the 339 level. Look at how far you're down in all these markets. Everybody's telling me, they're giving me reasons why this is occurring. You have filled gaps both here and here. These were the OPEC, and you went to bed, you woke up to the OPEC announcement, you've come back. Markets that fill gaps often run out of momentum as they fill them. We'll see if that's the case. The word is often, not all the time. Do you understand what I just said? WTI. When it's time for me to cover this again in great way to be bullish, I will. It is not time. The market is still feeling the pain of what we call a crowded trade. As the markets come down, it's feeling the pain and gasoline of what's the Fed going to do come May 3rd. And after we're through with that, it's time to open your eyes again and take a look at the spring, summer driving season. But the market's told you a high price as to what's happening in here. And here's the gasoline. This is the one that I was really talking about. And the reason I'm getting to that point of getting ready to cover it again is it's done what I wanted. It's hit the 200, the 100, and the Bollinger Band area. Okay, that's not reason to be a buyer. And I got people writing me all day, my subscribers, Ira, should I go in? Should I go in? And I write them back this way. Let me just tell you, it's not my trading style. It's that simple. Does that look like a bull trend? If it does to you, this is not the channel you should be watching. In the natural gas, as I said, I think we have a trade top, a trade bottom, coming down. And what did I end you with yesterday? You need a heat spell. And the first time that we see in that weather that the weather pattern in America is changing and hot weather's coming in, hot, we start taking a big look at this. Now, hot isn't Florida. Hot isn't necessarily Texas. Hot is the East Coast. Hot is the center of the country, the areas that are normally colder, and they make the shift. You haven't made the shift yet, so this is now the wobbling in markets like that. You put it together, you come up with a game plan, and that's what I try to do. Some work, some don't. You know, that's the reality of traders. I don't know anybody that's right all the time. I'm sure you do. I have these nuts that go on my YouTube channel. Mrs. Jones, if you followed her, you made $32,000 this week. She has changed my life. And that guy's asking you to get hold of her and trade, and she's going to make you $32,000 a day, and you buy into that. What is wrong with these channels that allow these people to even go on it? It's freedom of speech, I get it, but I remove them as best as I can. You know it's not real. I know it's not real. And if you don't believe that, I hope, I wish you the best. That's all I can tell you. But if you decide that you'd like to try my service, I'll give it to you for 2 weeks free. You get Monday through Friday. You're going to get actually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, at least 2 market letters a day. One I put out at 11:30, one before, typically 8 o'clock at night, p.m. Central Time. The 11:30 is a.m. Central Time, just to clarify up. We have a lot of people out of Europe and South America that follow us. On Friday, at least an update in the morning. On Sunday night, an update. Then I want to give you my morning subscriber videos because that's where we unfold all the chart action. And that's where you and I are going to take a good hard look and start saying, okay, not only did he write that, but here's the charts. Why do they look that way? What's he saying about it? What's he doing there? I am not out to handle your trades. We have a brokerage company that can do that. I manage no one's money. Don't want to manage money. I don't want people calling me and saying, Ira, why am I behind? They never call you on a big winner, by the way. It's always, look at what you did. I've done this 54 years. I don't need that anymore. Now what I just do is I write the letter, and if you're right and I want to write you back, I do. And most of the time I do. All right? And I'm not going to be right all the time. I'd rather talk about the losers than the winners. The winners take care of themselves. You learn from the losers, and sometimes there's nothing to learn. Sometimes a trade just doesn't work. That's why they're called trades, not investments. Got it? So how do you get this? You go to our website under free offers. Can I make it easier than that? Move your cursor up here, free offers, and away you go. I'm Ira. You have a good day.